Hello everybody. Today we will discuss about the switch reluctance motors. On switch reluctance motors, principle of operation is very important for know about the SRM switch reluctance motor. And if you observe, while going to discuss about the principle of operation, we previously discussed about the construction of the switch reluctance motor also, SRM. Here, the switch reluctance motor is having that silicon steel, or even it is made up of a steel core of the rotor and also silicon steel of a laminated stator has been placed. These poles are stator poles are projected outwards. The poles which are having is to be projected outwards, and the rotor is to be also same. Here, the number of the rotor poles is to be less compared to the stator number of poles. Here, if you observe about the principle of operation, how can the switch reluctance motor work, and also how the operation can be. Here, consider a switch reluctance motor with 8 stator poles and 6 rotor teeth. Here, normally, if you remind about the stepper motors are having that stator stator teeth, nothing but stator pole. Under the stator pole, we are having subteeth also, subteeth. But here we are not using any subteeth on the stator poles. What is the main difference means here for the stepper motor, that is compulsory necessary. It should be necessary. Why? Because the rotor is having number of teeth, not number of the poles. The rotor having that number of teeth. That is, it should be 60 or more than 80 number of rotor teeth, or 100. Even it should be 100. For 100 should be 3.6 degrees. Theta step angle is to be 3.6 degrees, like that. Should be depend upon the nothing but the number of rotor teeth is to be depend upon the what value of the step angle is required by the application, for the application. Therefore, as per the requirement of the step angle, the rotor teeth is to be designed. At the same time, the rotor stator is also having that subteeth on the pole. Here, if you come across the switched reluctance motor, SRM, switched reluctance motor with 8 stator poles and 6 rotor teeth, we are using here, and it has 4 faces. Whenever it should be 8 stator poles means there is a 4 pair of poles. Four face. It comes under the 4 face binding. Okay. Here 4 faces are A dash, B dash, and C dash, and D dash. These phases can be excited by the DC supply through switches S1, S2, and up to S4. We are using 4 switches again in the same manner of the stepper motor. The switches are placed and the switches are connected towards the DC supply as per the requirement of the sequence of operation by the motor, or by for the application. The sequence of the switches is on and off. Later, let we discuss about the let phase A dash be energized. Next, if you observe in this diagram, this is the complete diagram of the SRM switch reluctance motor. The switch reluctance motor is having that A, B, C, D, A dash, B dash, C dash, and D dash, A, B, C, D, and these are nothing but the 4 pair of poles. 4 pair of poles. Total 8 poles we are having. Total 8 poles of a stator, and the rotor is to be how many means it should be 6 teeth or 6 pole it should be. Okay, and it is the in between in central center position of the rotor is to be shaft. Here 4 faces A dash, B dash, and C dash, D dash. These are nothing but the faces. Okay, phase windings S1, S2, S3, S4 of a DC supply. Here, switch 1 to S4 are added each phase winding. Okay, each phase winding, and this is the complete overview of the motor. Here, let phase A dash be energized. When A dash be energized for a significant time, it should be here. Now, there is nothing but for a stepper motor. For a stepper motor, if you consider for a stepper motor, the time interval is to be very low. Time interval is to be very low. Switching nothing but even if you go for a second within a seconds or a fraction of seconds is to be enough for rotate the stepper motor. Why? Because the number of steps are having number of steps are having. Therefore, what should be happen means here, if you consider for this type of motor, switch reluctance motors, let a phase A dash be energized for a significant time. Nothing but the time interval is should be more compared with respect to the stepper motors. Stepper motor. Let phase A dash be energized for a significant time so that the rotor rests in equilibrium position. Nothing but equilibrium position is phase A excited. Phase A dash be excited. A dash be excited means 1 and 4. If you come across the rotor poles, the rotor teeth or rotor poles of 6 numbers. Here A dash has been having, and B dash, C dash, and also the D dash. A dash. A dash means here if you consider for A dash, whenever the A phase is exited, A dash is exited, therefore 1 and 4 are aligned in the A phase position, 1 and 4. Okay, nothing but wherever the minimum reluctance path is occurring, minimum reluctance path. If you observe here, this is the minimum reluctance path, and this is the maximum reluctance path. Okay, whenever minimum reluctance means what should happen? Minimum reluctance means there is having a magnetic field with a high value. Minimum reluctance and maximum magnetic field. The field is to be having maximum value whenever a minimum reluctance is there. Whenever maximum reluctance means there is no much amount of magnetic field within that area. Therefore, this is comes under the maximum reluctance. This is nothing but the minimum reluctance. Therefore, A dash whenever excited. Therefore, what should happen? 1 and 4, whichever comes to the equilibrium position. This is nothing but the equilibrium position or aligning. The rotor is aligned in the stator axis. Okay, when phase A excited. Here, this position corresponds to the maximum inductance of phase A dash. Maximum inductance. Also, this position represents a stable equilibrium position because any disturbance to move the rotor from this position and is opposed by the production of electromagnetic torque to bring the rotor back to this position. Nothing but there is some inductance value also within the air gap, within the minimum reluctance path. Whenever the A dash and 1 and 4 teeth are aligning or coming towards the equilibrium position, there is an inductance also some value. Here, for a switched reluctance motor, we discuss about the inductance value in brief. Why? Because here the inductance parameter has been changing. Within the motor, the inductance parameter has been changing. Here, therefore, with respect to the angle of the rotation or angular displacement of the rotation by the rotor and also the inductance Okay, by comparing these two, we draw a curve also. That is nothing but a L theta profile. We are also called as a inductance and angular displacement profile. L theta profile is called. Next, if you come across this, next phase AA is de-energized. Yes, AA phase. A phase winding has been energized. Okay, complete. The rotor has been moved. Okay, that is enough. But next, what happened? Next phase is to be energized. Next phase. What is the next phase? B phase. The B phase can be energized. Whenever B phase is energizing means what should happen? First, you have to de-energize the A phase. First, you have to de-energize. Okay, whenever you have to de-energize a phase, then you have to choose the another phase one. That is, while we going to switch on the B phase winding, therefore B phase is energizing. Okay, when B phase is energizing, means switch to S2 is to be getting on position. Okay, here what should happen when switch phase B is excited? That is, A phase is de-energized by turning the switch on off and exit B phase by turning the switch to on. Nothing but at a time only one switch is on, remaining all the three switches are at off position. Okay, therefore what happens? The rotor moves by 50 degrees in counterclockwise direction, clockwise the position. Here, within the diagram, if you observe, phase B is excited. When phase B is excited, if you come across when phase A is excited, this is the alignment or this is the equilibrium position of the rotor. But what about the phase B excited? Whenever phase B is excited, what number of the teeth or rotor pole are nearer to the phase winding? Okay, phase winding that comes towards the that comes under the alignment or equilibrium position of the rotor. Therefore, 2 5 of the rotor teeth, if you observe 2 5 of the rotor teeth is aligning or coming towards the equilibrium position of the by the rotor with respect to B phase. That is 2 and 5. Whenever 2 and 5 is coming means that rotor is to be rotating in anti-clockwise direction. Okay, it is 1 4. Yes, it is in a 0 degree. If you consider it is a 0 degree. Okay, next what should happen? This is the alignment of when the rotor is to be moving and counterclockwise direction. The rotor is to be twisted into counterclockwise direction with the providing of an electromagnetic torque. Okay, with respect to an electromagnetic torque, here the rotor is to be moving in a counterclockwise direction by aligning that 2 and 5 rotor teeth with respect to B and B phase windings. Whenever it is rotating in a counterclockwise direction with how much angle? 15 degrees. That is nothing but with respect to the stator axis of A phase, the B phase of the rotor is to be having that 15 degrees of the alignment, 15 degrees of the displacement. Okay, and when you go for again the switch 3, to turn on the switch 3, you have to first de-energize B phase winding by opening the switch S2, by opening switch S2 and closing S3. Therefore, C phase is to be energized. What happens if suppose without without a switch opening the S2 value, without switch opening the S2 value to by closing the switch S3, what happens? Without de-energizing the phase winding of a B phase by closing the switch S3 value with energizing the C phase winding, there is a problem. Why? Because there is an equilibrium position or alignment path of the rotor in the same phase only, B phase only. But what about the C phase winding? Therefore, there is nothing but the rotor cannot respond to move to another direction of whenever the C phase is excited. But or it can be moved in the middle of the B phase winding and also C phase winding of the rotor angle displacement. Therefore, that is the problem. That is the problem. B phase windings and C phase windings. When S3 is open, when S2 is open, then S3 is to be closed. Okay, there is a cyclic operation or a sequence of operation. You have to first open the switch of a previous one energized, and that is to de-energize that phase and energize the another phase one. Okay, therefore by operating the switches of a sequence, whenever C phase is gets excited means, therefore what happens? Whenever again C phase is excited, if you observe here, C phase is excited again. Now when C phase excited, 3 and 6 of rotor teeth is to be coming towards the aligned path. 3 and 6 of the rotor is to be coming towards the aligned path and brings towards the equilibrium position of the rotor. Here, at what degree the displacement can be moved by the rotor? That is 30 degrees. 30 degrees. In previous, it is 15 degrees, and next we have next also it will be changing again 15 degrees. Therefore, with respect to the stator axis, reference axis from the A phase winding, the rotor is to be displaced with 30 degrees. when C phase is exited, like that, like that. And this operation is to be moving in a sequence, cyclic manner, or in a sequence manner, that is operating the switches in sequence S1, S2, S3, S4, again S1, like that. This is a continuous operation to run the motor. Here now we can make the rotor to rotate in a counterclockwise direction with a stem angle 15 degrees. To reverse the direction of the rotation, follow the sequence. Whenever if you required any sequence of operation to be change the direction of rotation, that is now it is a counterclockwise direction. Next it should be clockwise direction. Here if you go for S1, S2, S3 and S4, like that, S1. Next if you want to, this is actually counterclockwise sequence of rotation to nothing but the switch reluctance motor, that it can be rotated in a counterclockwise direction. This is the sequence S1, S2, S3, S4, again S1. Next we have to rotate the motor in a clockwise direction. What is the operation of the sequence? That is S1, S4, S1, S4, like S1, S4, S3, S2, S1. Okay, like this. This is the nothing but this is the forward operation. This is the backward operation, like this, counterclockwise and also the clockwise of operation. Okay, this is the complete operation of the principle of operation of the SRM, switch reluctance motor. Here, if you observe these points, the operation of the switch reluctance motor depends on the variation of the phase inductance. The phase inductance. Nothing but I previously discussed about that, about the inductance value. Here, in a switch reluctance motor, we consider that inductance parameter, how the inductance parameter can be varied within the motor by changing each phase to while running the motor, while running the rotor. Therefore, inductance of the stator phase depends on the relative positions of the rotor teeth with respect to stator poles. Inductance value is to be dependent on the relative positions of the rotor teeth and also with respect to stator poles. Here, the phase inductance increases, remain constant, or decreases or remains constant, rises cyclically. Nothing but this value whenever operating in a sequence manner, when operating in a sequence manner, therefore there is a inductance value. That inductance value can be increases higher value and decreases lower value, or it should be a constant position. Nothing but they have some limits. Thing but the inductance is having some value. Suppose 20 millihenries, 30 millihenries, like that. If you have any this much value of the inductance parameter within the winding of the stator, whenever phase A excited, whenever phase B excited, therefore, with respect to the excitation of that each phase windings, the inductance values or phase inductance values can be varied, but having the limits values also, nothing but increases, decreases, or remaining constant position, like that. This variation depends on the amount of overlap of the rotor teeth with respect to stator poles of the concerned phase. Nothing but overlap means, suppose if you consider when A phase is excited, this is having an inductance value. Here having some inductance value, here having some inductance value with respect to the stator poles and also rotor teeth. Therefore, the variation depends on the amount of overlap of the rotor teeth with stator poles of the concerned phase. The current in the phase should be forced in the winding when the rotor tooth is just entering the stator pole of that phase. Nothing but the current in the phase should be forced in the winding when the rotor tooth is just entering the stator pole of that phase. Here, nothing. This is nothing but actually there is having some air gap. Actually, if you observe, this is having air gap in between the stator poles and also the rotor teeth, having some air gap. Within the air gap, there is a magnetic force or a torque value. The torque value is nothing but the to attract the rotor teeth with respect to the stator pole. This is nothing but there is a magnetic field requirement to attract the rotor teeth with respect to the magnetic field attraction. Some amount of current is to be drawn. I think, but the core is to be first magnetized. The stator core completely of a phase A is excited whenever that phase A of the two poles are getting magnetized first. To magnetize it, there is requirement of some current to magnetize and also attract on the rotor. Nothing but that rotor is completely placed on the load. The rotor is running the loads while each phase is whenever changing the excitation, the rotor is moving. The rotor moves with respect to the load. Sorry, the rotor runs the loads. Whatever the load you have been placed, whatever the loads. If you observe for a stepper motor, if you consider a stepper motor, stepper motors nowadays we are using the stepper motors nowadays for these purposes of solar tracking also. Solar tracking. Solar tracking means each panel has been placed. Each panel has been placed with respect to the sun direction of rotation, with respect to the displacement change of the sun direction. Therefore, the panel is also moving. The panel is also changing the direction of the as per the sun direction. That is nothing but the sun tracking. Here, with respect to the sun tracking, the motor can be the motor is the running the solar panels. The motor is running the solar panels. Okay, whenever the motor is running the solar panels means here if you observe while running the solar panels with respect to given the direction of towards the motor, either it is a stepper motor or it is a switch reactance motor. If you're giving the stepper motor towards the direction, therefore what should happen with respect to the sun direction, the motor is to be giving the rotation. Okay, giving the rotation, direction of the rotation. That is nothing but here, what I am telling is here, the current in the phase should be forced in the winding when the rotor tooth is just entering the stator pole of the phase. This is an important point, and it is therefore essential to know the rotor position for switching. The energized phase should be switched off when the inductance of that phase is decreasing. When the energized phase should be switched off when the inductance of that phase is decreasing. The conditions for the successful operation of SRM as summarized below. If you observe here, this is the important conditions for the successful operation of the SRM. Here, number of rotor teeth and stator poles must be even and not equal. Must be even and not equal. Nothing but all the stator poles, if you consider 2, 4, 6, 8, like that. If you consider the rotor also having the 2, 4, 6, 8 only. That is the even number. Whenever you have to place the even number, there is a successful operation can be possible. Next one, second one is to be stator phase is energized when the inductance of that phase is low or increasing. Stator phase is energized when the inductance of that phase is low or increasing. Okay, and sensor for rotor position is required. The rotor position sensing is essential for switching operations at correct instances. Here, each S1, S2, and S3, S4 having the switches. With respect to the switches are placed with respect to the phase windings. Here, each phase is to be when nothing but if you're giving the operation of a counterclockwise direction, therefore S1, S2, S3, S4, and S1 again. Like this operation has been given. Therefore, first switch in 1 is closed and A phase is exited. Then S2, then S3, then S4, and again S1. Like this is the cyclic operation. Nothing but a sensor. If you don't have any sensor, therefore, at this instant, what position of the rotor can't be detected, sensed by any device. Therefore, whenever the sensor has been placed, therefore, the rotor should be at this position and giving signals towards the controller and towards the controller towards the power circuit, power controller circuit or power switching circuit. Like that, the rotor position sensing is essential for switching operations at correct instances. And next, there is completely operation principle of operation of the switch reactance motor. Next, if you observe that basics of the switch reactance motor analysis, if you observe, SRM has no windings on its rotor. There is no winding. There is only solid core. Say, either it is a silicon steel or a complete steel core has been placed. SRM has no windings on its rotor. Here, if you observe, these switch reactance motors and stepper motors and permanent magnet rotor stepper motors or permanent magnet reactance motors, if you observe, all these motors, special electrical motors, are nothing but having the capacity of the motor is to be very low. It should be even less than 15 kilowatt. 15 kilowatt, below the 15 kilowatt. Not actually, we are telling about the 15 kilowatt. It is also very high, but we are using less than 1 kilowatt, less than 500 watts, like the motors we are using. That is the applications which are used for suppose if you go for a stepper motor for robotic applications, aeronautical applications, and also some other of aerospace, like that, of using permanent magnets with permanent magnet motors, like that. Nothing but the capacity of the motor has been reducing to improve the nothing but to improve the performance of that operation as per it as for the application. Okay. Come to this one, basics of SRM analysis, switch reactance motor analysis. Nothing but why we are choosing this analysis means here the inductance parameter we are considering. whenever phase A is excited. Therefore, when phase A is excited, therefore inductance value has been changing. When phase B excited, again inductance value. When switch 1 is to be closed, or switch 1 is open, phase A is de-energized. While de-energizing, the inductance parameter is decreases, like that. Okay, like that. Therefore, if you observe this, switch reluctance motor has no windings on its rotor. No windings on its rotor. Its only source of excitation consists of stator windings. This is an important feature for the for its feature, as it requires not nothing but as it requires that all the resistive losses occur on the stator. Nothing but only while not using the um, coils or winding within the rotor. Therefore, important is to be the stator is to be having the winding and the rotor is not having the winding. Therefore, what about the copper losses? Losses related towards the windings which you are occurring here is to be considered only the stator. Therefore, this is the important feature for the switch reluctance motor, and this makes the cooling easy and more effective. And this results in smaller motor for a given rating and frame size. This results in smaller motor for a given rating and frame size. And to produce torque, switch reluctance motor should be designed in such a way that the stator winding inductance vary with the position of the rotor teeth. Double saliency of the motor satisfies this requirement. Here, nothing but the stator winding inductance vary with the position of the rotor teeth. Yes, it is important one. While operating the SRM, the inductance parameter can vary. Yes. Next, the inductance of the stator winding varies with rotor position such that the inductance is maximum when the rotor axis is aligned with respect to the magnetic axis of the phase, and minimum when the two axes are perpendicular. Okay, this is the important one. Nothing but when the inductance parameter has been changes, whenever here if you observe, the maximum value can be occurred when an alignment with respect to the stator poles and the rotor teeth. Alignment with respect to the stator poles and the rotor teeth. Therefore, if you observe, the stator pole and the rotor teeth are aligned, are coming towards equilibrium position. There is having a maximum inductance value. Whenever it should be minimum, whenever the other than the axis. Nothing but when the rotor axis is aligned with the magnetic axis of that phase, and minimum when the two axes are perpendicular. Perpendicular means it should be not aligned. Not aligned. The stator axis, the stator poles and the rotor teeth are not aligned. For analysis, considering here alpha S, say stator slot angle in degrees, and alpha R, rotor slot angle in degrees, beta S, stator pole arc in degrees. Okay, stator slot angle in degrees. This is the stator slot angle in degrees, and the rotor slot angle in degrees, and the stator pole arc in degrees, rotor tooth arc in degrees. Beta R. Ns is the number of stator poles, and Nr is the number of rotor teeth, and Tc is the turns per coil. Turns per coil is considered only on the stator. Turns per coil is considered only on the stator side. Next, R is the radius of the rotor at the air gap. Radius of rotor at the air gap. Next, G is the air gap length, and L is inductance per phase. L is the inductance per phase, and Q is the overlap angle, and mu naught is overlap angle is nothing but if you consider whenever the stator pole axis and also the rotor teeth axis is to be same alignment, means that overlap angle is zero. Overlap angle is zero. Yes, that is nothing but the Q value. If there is no uh, energy alignment with respect to the stator poles and also rotor teeth, therefore there is no alignment. There is having the overlapping angle with highest value. Okay. The next one, mu naught is the permeability of the air, and theta is the rotor displacement in degrees. Here L is the inductance per phase. We are having that important characteristics are of L theta profile. L theta profile, that is inductance value and also the rotor displacement profile we have to must and should be observed. Next, if you come across this one, assuming here no firing of fringing of flux and flux to be confined entirely in the overlap of the rotor teeth and stator pole. Nothing but any fringing means there is no deviation of the flux. Whatever the amount of flux is to be getting is to be from the stator pole is to be um, exactly on same as that of the rotor teeth. Therefore, there is no fringing. And next one, the inductance per phase can be calculated. Actually, this is the derived value from basic expressions. That is Tc square mu naught I R Q by 2Z value. How it can be getting is to be we observed, where I R Q is nothing but the represents the area of the air gap. Area of the air gap. The variations of the inductance can be studied with the help of the diagram we observed here. This is the variations of the, this is nothing but the portions of the rotor and stator 8 pole of SRM. If you observe alpha S, beta S, and beta or alpha, if you observe, this is the alpha S stator slot angle in degrees, stator pole arc. If you observe, this is the stator slot angle, stator pole arc. This is nothing but slot angle. Okay, in between pole and pole to pole, we are having a slot. Okay, that is nothing but the rotor slot angle, and this is a rotor pole arc angle. Pole arc. Okay. Uh, the variations of the inductance can be studied with the help of the diagram. It represents a portion of the rotor and stator of an 8-pole SRM with 6 rotor teeth. Here, the developed diagrams for various positions of rotor teeth you have observed also. Here, if you observe the positions of the stator pole A and rotor tooth B when the overlap begins, the inductance starts increasing at this instant. Nothing but whenever the positions of the stator pole A and rotor tooth B, here we observe, this is nothing but the, whenever stator, this is the stator poles and this is the rotor poles or rotor teeth. Whenever this is overlap begins, A becomes to B, okay, like that. Whenever overlap begins, the inductance starts increasing at this instant. This position is taken as the reference for displacement when theta is equal to 0. Okay, shows the condition where inductance reaches its maximum value. This position of the rotor tooth and stator pole are shown here within the diagram. Here, if you observe, overlap begins. Okay, overlap when begins. Therefore, the rotor is to be starting at the time of instant of starting moving. Okay, overlap begins called. And here, if you observe on the B diagram, position of the maximum inductance X, overlap begins, and also the rotor teeth is to be entered towards the stator pole position. Therefore, the overlap has to be overlap has to be no overlap. Actually, there is no overlap. Nothing but within the rotor stator pole, the rotor teeth is to be having. Within the rotor pole, stator pole, there is a rotor teeth. Okay, position of maximum inductance. Next one, overlap starts decreasing. Overlap starts decreasing. Here, if you observe the rotor is to be moving. Nothing but whenever A phase is excited here, therefore, at the instant of A phase excitation, overlap begins. And if you observe, A phase is excited. Therefore, whenever A phase is excited, therefore the rotor is to be positioned to rotor tooth is positioned towards the maximum inductance position. And next, if you observe, overlap starts decreasing here, and A phase is de-energized. Okay, next going to B phase to be de-energized. A phase is de-energized. Therefore, the rotor is to be moving like this. Okay, and this is called overlap ends. Overlap ends means if you come across this one, the stator pole and rotor is having two end points. That is overlap ending. Okay. This is nothing but the L theta profile. L theta profile are observed from, if you consider um, the instant at which the overlap ends, inductance reaches the minimum. And also, if you observe, this is the inductance and also the theta displacement value of a profile. If you observe how the inductance value rises and constant and minimum decreases and again should be constant position means here if you observe at from the zeroth position, the inductance value is to be minimum 0 to nothing but having some value, but it not completely zero. Why? Because the inductance is having the inductance coil is has stored some magnetic field of energy. Why? Because that's why the zero is not coming from zero position. It should be at some middle point. Some of the value is having. Therefore, the inductance value is to be rising from this position. Okay, zero, and this is minimum and this is maximum. In previous discussions, previous slides we studied about, we discussed about that inductance parameter is varying within the limits, within between the limits of maximum and also the minimum value, maximum and the minimum value. Okay, Therefore, L minimum and L maximum. And if you observe the beta S, this is nothing but the pole arc. Rotor, stator pole arc and rotor pole arc. Beta R is nothing but at this position, if you observe beta S and also this beta R, the maximum inductance can be getting pole arc, near the pole arc. Okay, and next onwards, what should happen with respect to the stator rotation? The inductance value has been energization. Stator inductance value has to be decreasing. If you observe here, for theta less than 0 less than theta less than beta S value, the inductance rises from L minimum to L maximum, and from beta S to beta S less than theta less than beta R2, the inductance remain constant value. This is called as a dwell angle. This is nothing but the dwell angle. If you observe here, beta S and beta R, beta S and beta R less than theta less than beta R, I think it should be in between this one, beta S and beta R. Here, the rotor is to be moving like this. Rotor is to be moving like this. Nothing but there is no overlap angle. Now it is having overlap angle. Whenever it should be beta S, beta R means the pole arc is to be nearer to the stator pole and rotor teeth as having aligned or coming towards the equilibrium position. Therefore, the, it is called maximum inductance. That is called also dwell angle. For beta r less than theta less than 2 pi by ns means it should be the inductance starts decreasing, it reaches to minimum value, L minimum value. Okay, and after that it should be again dwell angle, it's called, and it is in a minimum position. In between the angles of 2 pi nr and 2 pi ns is called dwell angle. It should be coming towards the constant position. And this is completely about the switch reluctance motor. This is the some of the analysis, and we're having also how the torque is to be getting. This is actually the inductance value, how the inductance parameter is changing with respect to the rotation of the stator poles, and with respect to stator poles, how the rotor is to be rotating. Therefore, with respect to the pole arcs of the stator pole and rotor teeth, how the inductance is to be varying, how the inductance is to be varying. These all are considered here. Okay, that's why for the switch reluctance motor, we observed about the principle of operation and how the switch reluctance motor working, and about SRM analysis, switch reluctance motor analysis, how the inductance value can be varied with respect to the rotor angle displacement, angular displacement of the rotor theta value. These are observed here. In the next class, we observe again some more analysis related towards the torque characteristics, torque speed characteristics, and also torque equation of the switch reluctance motor. Thank you.